Great question.
That's a great question. If you know me personally, you know that the way I am on TV is exactly the way I am in real life.
And exactly the way it was in kindergarten, is what I am, but yeah, go ahead.
So it really hasn't changed my life. It has exposed me to a lot of bullying, believe it or not, because people are opinionated. If you guys in social studies and stuff, if you guys know about the different parties and how passionate senators get or congresspeople, and you can see it in the news and you guys read about it. People are passionate about religion, about lifestyle, about a lot of things. So I get messages from people all across the nation and actually all over the world telling me either that they appreciate what I'm doing by living out loud, on a TV show, or they tell me how I need to keep my mouth shut and, go hide in a hole. So, and everything in between.
Go ahead in the corner there. Yeah, go ahead.
MJ actually was there. You know what's funny? When I got to high school, a guy that used to bully me ended up being MJ's boyfriend. And the funny thing was, he was Persian. And he had a thick, heavy accent, and I didn't have an accent. And he would bully me because he was older. He was a year older. And I'll never forget, when I got there, there was this concept of getting trashed. Like, they would pick you up as a freshman and throw you in a trash can. And people would call you fresh because you were a freshman. But he had a heavy accent, so he couldn't say fresh. He would say fetish. And it was hilarious. But MJ was there for me. The way that she was there for me was to listen and to support me and she always gave me a sense of comfort because I always knew I had someone to turn to, that I could tell her whatever I needed to.
Very good. Okay, picture in the back of Mrs. Fowler. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
How many times do you need to experience freshman Fridays?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last one.
Fridays. Freshman Fridays.
Freshman Fridays. How many times do you think that happened in the freshman Friday experience that you were talking about?
You know what? It never happened. It was always talked about. I always dreaded it.
Yeah.
I learned to, I had eyes in the back of my head. I was always looking over my shoulder. And somehow, I was just lucky enough because I guess somehow I avoided it and it never happened.
Reza, real fast, you work in real estate. We haven't
I do.
discussed that. And are you going to stick with real estate? Or do you think is this taking on a new career of its own?
Honestly, Josh, the only reason I wanted to be on the show was, there's stereotypes at every age, right? And you guys have stereotypes that you deal with in school. I have stereotypes now as an adult in the world and on a global level. And for those of us that are Middle Eastern, there are a lot of things that go on in the world. People don't dissect Middle Easterners so much. They throw us all into, a pot. And they label us. And I thought that being on this show would help shed some light and show that, you know what? I love this country. I am so thankful that I got to grow up in Beverly Hills. I worship the ground I walk on. I don't want to blow anything up. I love our president. I don't have a camel at home. This is a great place to be, right? And for a lot of people, they don't know that Middle Easterners actually love the United States of America. I don't want to live anywhere else. And so I thought by being on the show, I could show that side of being Middle Eastern.
Excellent. Green shirt there. Go ahead. Yes. Louder.
That's a great question. And actually, how old are you? 12. And what's your name? John, you're one of the only people that pronounces it properly. You said Iranian, okay? And I am happy to be called Iranian. What I don't like is Iranian, because Iranian to me sounds like EYE-Ranian. We don't say Italian, we say Italian. So it's just, for me, like when I go to Starbucks and I tell them my name, unless I go to my local Starbucks where they all know me, I never say Reza because I hate having my name butchered. I always say I'm Nick. So I say Iranian, I say Persian, but everything from that area, like the food is Persian, the people are Persian, the cats are Persian, the rugs are Persian.
Okay, Nick, that was good advice. Go ahead, yes.
What is something you learned from your childhood experiences?
That's such a broad. Anything a little more specific, like.
From all your bullying experiences.
You know,
What is some advice you give?
some advice. Being there for people made such a difference. Now, having grown up and I have all these years behind me, and I've had conversations and I'm still friendly with a lot of people that I grew up with, a lot of the things I did for people made such a huge impact on them that I couldn't even comprehend at the time. So the little things in life make a big difference.
Very good advice. We've got time for just a few more questions, and then we have a special surprise. Go ahead. You already asked me. Go ahead. Was someone here? Yes, go ahead. Front row. Go ahead. Shh. Speak up.
Are you glad you were bullied?
Are you glad you were bullied?
I'm not glad I was bullied. No, that's actually a great question. But I'm glad for the life experience I've had. So I wouldn't change my life for anything. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. But I'm not glad I was bullied. But I have enough time and distance from it that I can look back and say, everything in my life helped make me who I am and helped get me to the place that I'm at.
Balcony right there. Go ahead. Yeah. That's what. I'm sorry. What?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
One more time.
Has any of your friends been bullied?
Have any of your friends been bullied?
Yeah, they have, absolutely. And Mike was bullied, and he actually did an assembly at Horseman.
Yeah. Yeah. Very. He's had some good advice too. Go ahead. Yes.
Were you ever like short or not like really high when you were?
No, I wasn't short, but there was a time when I was really fat, which is even worse than being short, because you were tortured.
Good question. Yes. Go ahead.
Were you ever physically bullied?
Physically bullied.
Yeah, well, a couple times.
Go ahead. Yes.
What would you say to bullies in this room?
You will regret it. It might not come back to you now, it might not come back to you tomorrow, but whatever action you take and whatever energy you put out in the world is what you get back. The good things in life, it's like a piggy bank. It's like putting money in a bank. You get interest on all the good deeds and all the good you do in the world. And conversely, the same with all the bad things. So for the bullies, my advice would be, check yourself.
Yeah. And by the way, notice how we remember stories from 35 years ago. You guys are going to remember these stories in the future too. So don't think that you're going to get away with something now. You'll be remembered long in the future. Yes, go ahead.
You know, when I was in school, it was very cliquish, and there was like a group of them. They had their own little fan club, so they weren't hated.
Okay, I think we got time for one more question right here. Go ahead.
Do you believe in karma?
Absolutely.
All right, Bulldogs, what do we think of Reza Farahan, classmates? We have a special surprise for you, but you guys have to be very well behaved. Go ahead. You want to take care of this?
All right, quiet down. We're not going to do anything if we don't quiet down.
Bring up. Okay.
All right. You want to talk?
I want to take a picture with Teo,
Teo, come in.
and I'm going to put it on my Facebook.